Hey everyone, I'm your host Kai.
And I'm Dr. Anarchy.
And this is time for another Bizarre Ones podcast. And of course, in this episode, we're looking at some strange news stories. So let's just hop right into the podcast. Okay, so this story is about, the first one, if you will, is about 43 monkeys that remain on the run from South Carolina lab. And the CEO thinks they're having an adventure.
Wait, so Kai, they're supposedly having an adventure, is what he said, I guess.
So, Dr. Anarchy, basically, these 43 monkeys that were bred for medical research, that they escaped a compound in South Carolina, and then they've been spotted in the woods near the site, and the workers are using food to try to recapture them, right? Now, the thing is they what happened is, at the facility, the person didn't fully lock the door as she fed and, checked on them. And basically, the CEO said, they're very social monkeys, and they travel in groups, so when the first couple go out the door, the others tend to just follow right along. And then he added, I think they're having an adventure.
So, what you're trying to say, Kai, is he's like, oh, they're having an adventure. He doesn't seem that worried or at all about these monkeys escaping at all. He just seems like, oh, they're just on an adventure. Like, they're going to come back or something on their own without any, kind of a bribery, if you will, to convince them to come back. He's just like, yeah, they're just on an adventure. Like, they're Curious George or something.
Like they're Curious George or something. I like that one. Basically, yeah, that's what he's going with, is that they're having an adventure, and they were exploring the outer fence of the Alpha Genesis compound, and these primates are exhibiting calm and playful behavior, which is a positive indication, the police statement said, adding company workers are closely watching the monkeys while keeping their distance as they work to safely recapture them. They're about the size of a cat. They are all females weighing about 7 pounds. But yeah, according to him, they're just having an adventure. There's no reason to worry about it at all.
So I guess, Kai, those monkeys were up to some monkey business, They weren't monkeying around. Or maybe they were monkeying around.
Yeah, they probably were monkeying around. So this other story, right, I have for us to talk about next is there was a stolen shoe mystery solved at a Japanese kindergarten when security cameras caught a particular animal in the act. Would you like to guess what animal?
What animal did they catch in the act? Was it another monkey, Kai?
No, it wasn't another monkey. In fact, it was a weasel they caught in the act. So the police thought a shoe thief was on the loose at the kindergarten in a southwestern Japan school until a security camera caught the furry culprit in action. A weasel with a tiny shoe in its mouth was spotted on the video footage after the police installed 3 cameras in the school in the prefecture of Fukuoka. I may pronounce that wrong. I'm sorry if I did. Sorry. And the deputy chief police, Chief Hiroki, said it's great that it turned out not to be a human being.
So basically, Kai, this weasel was actually being what the stereotype for a weasel is. He was stealing their shoes and whatnot. Now, I'm curious of what the weasel wanted to do with their shoes. Was it the scent that, drew the weasel there, if you will, to that particular thing, the shoes, or was there some other kind of story?
Well, the thing is weasels are actually known to stash items, and people keep weasels as pets, give them toys so they can hide them. So the weasel scattered their shoes around and took 15 of them before the police were called. 6 more were taken the following day. The weasel returned again to the next day to steal 1 more shoe. The camera footage of the theft was seen the next day. And I actually have the video on my TikTok page, or our TikTok page of Bizarre One Studios. If anyone wants to see that, they can go and see it there. So basically, I guess apparently weasels do this. And all I can keep on thinking is swiper, no swiping,
Now you're the ones with the jokes, Kai. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Oh, that's a good one. That is a really good one.
And that old nursery rhyme where it goes, the monkey chased the weasel around the mulberry bush? It makes you wonder if that's the real reason the monkey was chasing the weasel around the mulberry bush, is because the weasel stole the monkey's, toy or something, and that's why he's chasing him around the mulberry bush.
I like that one, Kai, and I like how you use that to tie back to the first story that we did so far in this podcast. So that was very clever, if you will. So I guess it's my turn, if you will, Kai, to present a story. And this one is about this woman, right? She heard animal noises from under her house. And guess what?
I don't know. Did she, discover what was under her house, and what exactly was it under her house?
Okay, Kai. So this elderly California woman who thought noises were coming from beneath her home were made by animals was shocked to find a naked man living under her house.
Wait, so there was this naked man living under her house? There's a naked man living under her house.
So yes, Kai, there was a naked woman living under her house. A 93-year-old woman from Los Angeles, El Sereno neighborhood recently got the shock of her life, right? She was hearing these bizarre noises coming from beneath her home, and she had thought it was made by animals, but come to find out, no, it was by the man who settled there. The woman and her family had usually heard strange noises under the house during the night, so they assumed they were made by dogs or some other type of wild animals passing through the crawl space. But at one point, they finally investigated and come to find out they had begun to suspect something wasn't right, so they called the police, who found a naked man who appeared to have been living under the house for quite some time.
Was it a crackhead, or a meth head, or some kind of drug addict, or was it a crazy transient that just wasn't all right there? Because if it was a crazy transient that was not all right there, not to get political or anything, but obviously that seems like a time that the America needs to focus on its mental health, situation or crisis, if you will.
That is true, but no, I don't think it was that. So it was usually late at night. They were chuckled off to animals being under the house. Ricardo Silva, the son-in-law, had told NBC Los Angeles. Now, getting the unwanted guests out from under the house was quite the task, right? So the police show up, and the police keep on trying to talk him out of the crawl space. They tried to intimidate him with police dogs, but he didn't seem worried. And in the end, they had to force him out with tear gas. He had refused to leave. He wasn't scared of the dogs. The first 2 attempts at gas didn't fish him out. It's a bizarre thing, but it's probably not uncommon, in this day and age, people are looking for shelter. The naked man was identified as 27-year-old Isaac Betancourt, and he's suspected to have been living under that house for the last 6 months. The family is now planning to block the access to the 2-foot-high crawl space under the entire house to prevent similar problems in the future.
Yeah, that's crazy that he had been living under that house, right, Dr. Anarchy? He had been living underneath that house, and I guess he was probably just looking for a place to stay, somewhere where he could keep warm. And in this day and age, that shouldn't be such a task, if you will. And I'm not trying to get political, and I'm sorry if this part of the podcast gets political, but I think it's ridiculous. We have so many homes, we have so many abandoned buildings, so many places where we can put the homeless, but we don't. And so we get situations like this, if you will, to where they have nowhere else to go, and we're like, hey, where do you expect them to go? And then people get upset that, they resort to certain tactics like this. Should he have been living under that woman's crawl space? No. But the thing is something needs to be done about the homeless population, and I don't see why it's such a big deal when you have all these empty buildings, all these empty houses, if you will, where we could easily store the homeless. We could easily put them to where they would have a place warm to stay, but apparently that's controversial. Apparently that's radical, if you will, to even suggest the idea of homeless people being taken care of. You know what I mean?
No, I get exactly what you mean, Kai. But yeah, they basically are doing enough to the crawl space so nobody else it won't happen again. But yes, I agree with you. It's ridiculous of how we can't take care of people at all in this country, and we just expect the problem to be ignored. And that's something that should obviously be addressed, but obviously not the fascist that's in office now, if you will.
So this next story, if you will, is about Nick DiGiovanni, who broke the world record for the largest iced latte. So yeah, he broke the record. The social media star Nick DiGiovanni teamed up with Dunkin' to break the world Guinness record for the largest iced latte. Giovanni, a chef and social media influencer with multiple Guinness World Record titles, filled a 11-foot-high Dunkin' cup with ice, milk, and espresso to take on the record. The records confirmed that this resulted in a 276-gallon beverage, the world's largest iced latte. It was then portioned out into smaller cups and served to more than 300 employees at the corporate offices in Massachusetts.
That is one large cup of coffee, guy. That is a very large cup of coffee. Good thing that it wasn't just one person that drank it, because if it was just one person that drank it, I don't know what would happen, but I'm pretty sure that is a massive coronary infarction waiting to happen if the one person had drank the cup of coffee himself. So yeah. That's kind of cool, though.
So you remember those monoliths a while ago, right? That kept on popping up everywhere?
Yeah, I remember the monoliths. They were the monoliths similar to the old classic movie Space Odyssey 2001. Am I correct?
Yeah, it was similar to the monoliths, the crystal monoliths or whatever, if you will, from the movie Space Odyssey 2001. Well, another one appeared near Las Vegas. And see, first, as you know, it was Utah, then it was Romania, then California, Spain, Wales, and Paraguay. Or Paraguay. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly. But these metallic monoliths began to be found in late 2020 by unsuspecting viewers in the seemingly random locations around the world. Now, often this invoked the reminded people of the science fiction movie, Space Odyssey 2001, and just seemed like a science fiction, prop. And the mysterious object, of course, captured everyone's attention. Everyone was like, wow, right? Well, recently, this article is written that I'm getting this from that month, another gleaming prism materialized outside of Las Vegas. So the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department said in a post on Twitter, "We see a lot of weird things when people go hiking, like not being prepared for the weather, not bringing enough water, but check this out." And then he shared the picture of the monolith.
So, do they have any idea of what it could be, Kai? Are they suspecting aliens? Are they suspecting some kind of artist, or what?
Well, police don't know exactly who it is responsible for this monolith or how they got it there, or what exactly it is, and some have actually speculated that it was aliens. Others, as a work of art. Other people are praying, if you will, and all that stuff. But these monoliths have continued to pop up everywhere, and now there's one in Las Vegas. We'd like to hear your all's feedback of what you think of these monoliths.
Okay, so Kai, I figured I'd bring this up. You've heard of the New Jersey drones, right?
Yeah, I think I've heard a little bit about the New Jersey drones. They were spotted over New Jersey, if you will, and whatnot, or something like that, right? And like a lot of people don't know where they're coming from and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly. So Homeland Security recently, I guess, shared new footage, if you will, of details of the mysterious drone flights over New Jersey. And the thing is apparently they have no idea where they come from. The FBI is like, I don't know where these are from. And dozens of mysterious nighttime flights started last month when this article was written, and which was December, so started around November of last year, raised growing concern among residents and officials. Part of the worry stems from the flying objects initially being spotted near the Picatinny Arsenal, a U.S. military research and manufacturing facility, and over President-elect Donald Trump's golf course in Bedminster. These drones are legal in New Jersey for recreational commercial use, but they are subject to local and federal aviation administration regulations and flight restrictions. Operators must be FAA certified. But most of all, these drones spotted in New Jersey were larger than those typically used by hobbyists, and a lot of people have speculation of maybe it's aliens observing, because there's a lot of stuff going on in the world, and especially in the United States recently. Maybe aliens observing it because they're curious of where humanity is going to go from here, if you will.
So political, right? Political, and then you got global climate change. You have a lot of rise of fascism and stuff like that, right, Doc? And so maybe that's what the drones are, is maybe it is aliens, if you will, observing where humans are going and are not happy with it. Or it also could be actually the United States government trying to distract people from a lot of the things that are going on, such as there was the TikTok ban, and around the time the TikTok ban is around the time that the New Jersey drone thing started up as well. So it could be a distraction to distract the people from the various problems that are going on in the world. It could be aliens. It could be tons of various things.
Exactly, Kai. It could be tons of other various things, and they're just not sure. I just thought I'd bring that up because we were talking about the monoliths, if you will, being perhaps alien origin, and perhaps these drones could be as well. You don't know.
So this guy bought a banana, right? That's what our next story. This man ate a banana that was worth $6.2 million or 4.9 million pounds. This cryptocurrency entrepreneur had kept his promise and ate that banana. So Justin's son, who snapped up this viral art piece, comedian, consisting of a single banana duct taped to a white wall, in an auction in New York last week. This Chinese-born businessman immediately revealed his plan to destroy the artwork by enjoying the fruit. At a Hong Kong hotel, the 34-year-old took a bite and told reporters it's much better than any of the bananas. It's really good. After purchasing, he had previously said the piece represents cultural phenomena that bridge the worlds of art, memes, and cryptocurrency community. Additionally, in the coming days, I will personally eat the banana as part of this unique artistic experience. He honored its place in both history and popular culture. So he ate a freaking banana that was worth, supposedly, I guess, $6.2 million. That's like one expensive banana, and he bought it and ate it. And I mean, I guess if you have that kind of money, might as well, buy the banana and eat it, if you will, because, why not? So, for the next story, police in Alabama shared body cam footage from a chase that they was with a rooster. Yeah, the Shelby County Sheriff's Department said on social media that deputies responded to an armed and dangerous suspect attempting to roost in a local church parking lot. The video shows the deputy risking his life to protect the church flock. His feathers were ruffled and his nerves fried, but Deputy Watkins never nestled until he got his man, the Post said. The rooster eventually fled to a tree where the deputy was able to grab the bird and carry him back to his coop. But yeah, this particular story, if you will, and I'm sorry about my computer noises. Anyways, this particular story, if you will, is the cops had to chase down a rooster. And I just think that's a funny story. I mean, I guess he really came home to roost. And for this next story, surprisingly, believe it or not, it's not going to be me or Dr. Anarchy reading it. It's going to be none other than Tonya Kitsune, who hasn't been in one of these podcasts since the first episode. So go ahead, Tonya.
Okay, so this story is about a Monopoly superfan collection broke his own World Guinness record. A British board game fanatic broke his own Guinness World Record when his collection of Monopoly board game memorabilia was tallied at 4,379. Neil Skellen, whose collection is largely composed of different Monopoly editions, set the record with 1,677 sets in 2016, and then he broke his record with 1,999 in 2017 and 2,249 in 2018, and now his collection stands at 4,379, cementing his position as the world record holder for the largest collection of Monopoly board game memorabilia.
That's a lot of, Monopoly there. Wow. He does really, truly have the largest collection. So, continue. I'm sorry.
Well, he said, I started with the standard set, then I'd get them from different countries as I was traveling, he told World Guinness Records. On the sets where you go aboard would be places that you visited, so it was a nice double whammy. It was nice to have something which was a memento of your trip in all the places you've been and collectible.
I mean, that's like one holy grail of Monopoly. That's a lot of Monopoly, if you will. What do you think, Dr. Anarchy?
Well, Kai and Tonya, that is a large collection of Monopoly. That's the person's house you want to go to if he's having a pizza party, when you were, in still middle school, because he would have, a large Monopoly collection that you could play Monopoly. You could play several different versions of you, if you will, of Monopoly. So that is really freaking cool, if you ask me.
In this last story, if you will. Okay. A woman admits she loves Father Christmas a bit too much in a serious case of Santaphilia.
I didn't even know there was a term for that, for somebody that was in love with Santa Claus. So she's literally in love with Santa?
Yeah, so Cassidy Cosa explained that she has a strange kinky fetish that started at a young age and was down to Kris Kringle being charming, caring, and dare I say, kind of hot.
So she finds Kris Kringle, or aka Santa Claus, Father Christmas hot, is what you're saying.
Yeah, so she's a popular social media influencer who has confessed to suffering from Santaphilia, a sexual attraction to Father Christmas. She's 24 years old, and she finds Santa to be charming, caring, and kind of hot. She admitted her kinky obsession with Kris Kringle started at a young age. She said, I think it started around 10, watching Christmas movies with my family. Santa always stood out to me. He was charming, caring, and dare I say, kind of hot, but only in his Santa suit. There's just something about that whole persona that stuck with me, she told Mail Online. She added, it's not just about the physical trait, it's the whole Santa vibe.
Well, I could understand that. It's the fact that he's a caring person, and that he cares about others, and probably all the cool gifts.
Yeah, I mean, probably all the cool gifts as well, as you said.
I mean, I find that interesting. So basically for her, Santa Claus is a guilt, a grandfather she'd like to
Yes, basically, that's all we have for this episode of Bizarre Ones podcast of a strange but true edition. Next month, it'll be, I don't even remember, but it'll be another paranormal one, if you will. So, hit that subscribe thing or whatever so you can hear more episodes of Bizarre Ones podcast. I'm your host, Kai.
And I'm Dr. Anarchy.
And I'm Tonya.
So anyways, thank you for watching. Until next time, stay strange and bizarre.